I don't know like how people do it. Um, my whole life, pretty much, I haven't worked like normal jobs. Like I've had jobs and stuff, but not like haven't worked them full time, 9 to 5. And most of the stuff, the normal jobs I did was more 1099 stuff. But I did work an actual 9 to 5 for like a few months one time, and I fucking hated it. Like I have no idea how people work jobs like that and just how people work that much and don't go like completely insane. It made me super, super depressed, and a lot of it was just because of the amount of time it takes and the amount of your time that you're basically giving your time to someone else when you do this too. And I don't want this to sound like I'm like knocking people who work 9 to 5s. Like I think I actually have a lot of respect for them. I just don't know how people do it. Like I can't do it. It made me super, super depressed. Like I was saying, I felt like I had no time to do like anything. I don't know. Like there are people that work 9 to 5s and work out regularly and have kids. I don't know how people do that. Like I felt like crap. I was only working out like once a week, where normally I'd work out very, very regularly. I love working out. It made me feel really, really depressed. Oh, it messed with my sleep so bad. Like I already normally have trouble sleeping, but this made it horrible. And I think the reason was I had so much anxiety about not getting enough sleep. I was so worried that I wouldn't sleep enough, and I had a lot of like depression, anxiety around this job, that it just made me not be able to sleep. Like the problem was that I would wake up too early, and I already had to be at this job before 8 a.m. So I had to get up super early already. But I would always wake up like an hour or two more early than I had to get up. So I'd wake up at like 5 in the morning and then couldn't go back to sleep. Or probably I would have been able to go back to sleep, but it would take me until about the time that I had to get up and get out of bed. And oh my God, it was horrible. I was exhausted 24/7. The owner of the place, my boss, we were actually really good friends before I had a job there too. And then by the end of it, I like hated a guy. Like I think he wasn't the greatest boss. He was always yelling at people and seemed stressed. And then to be honest, I don't think I was a very good employee, because I don't like having a boss. I don't like being told what to do. It was a really bad situation. I actually never talked to the guy again, and we were like really good friends before that. So it was a really awful experience. But I don't know. There's a lot of downsides to having like a normal job too that I just don't want. Like first of all, I want to be able to I want to be able to create something and make a lot of money. And even if you have like a job that makes you a lot of money, you're still not really building anything towards your future from that, unless you're just making a lot of money, and then a lot of the money that you make you're using towards buying like other assets, or you use them towards creating another business or something. But if you're not doing that, you're not doing anything towards your future. You're just building your boss's future or the business owner's future for them, which I want to build my own thing. Like what I'm trying to do, but really what my goal is I want to build a lifestyle or build something up where I can work basically the minimum amount of time possible and make the most amount of money as possible. I just want stuff that's really, really passive, so I can do stuff that I want to do and I don't have to spend 8 hours a day working, which I think is completely insane. Also, I should add that with this job I had, I lived like 4 blocks away from the job. So I really didn't even have a commute. I would even drive there, so it was like a 2-minute commute or something. There are people that have 9 to 5 jobs, 8 hour a day jobs, and they're driving like an hour or more, both ways combined. Like I had a friend who was doing like the commute from Tracy. He was living in Tracy and then going into San Francisco. There's a lot of people that do that. It's like an hour, it's like over an hour one way. I have no idea how people do that and not just want to kill themselves. Like I honestly think if I did that, I would just want to like kill myself. I would feel so bad. And I don't know if part of the thing is just because I'm sort of prone to depression, so I need to set up maybe a really good sort of a lifestyle so that I'm not depressed. I don't know what it is, but I just can't do like that normal 9 to 5 job. Like I feel like most people can do it, and a lot of people can do it and still stay cheerful and all that, but I can't do it. Another thing is the amount of taxes that get taken out. Oh my God. Like if you work a 1099 job even, you're not going to pay as much taxes probably. It's easier to write stuff off, to deduct stuff. And if you have your own business, it's very easy to make a lot of money and pay like no taxes. For the last like 4 years, I think, since I started the Turo business, the little rental car business that I've had, I haven't had to pay really any taxes. I think last year my profit was like 40 grand or something, and I paid like $1,200 in taxes or something, which is like nothing. I think most people, to be able to walk away with 40 grand, you'd have to really have like a 55 or a $65,000 a year job. And I think after the taxes got taken out, you'd be walking away with like 40 grand. But with me, with the 40 grand was basically after my taxes. I paid almost nothing in taxes. It's like when you have like an $18 an hour job, you're basically getting like $15 an hour with your paychecks. It's horrible. I couldn't stand seeing that. And they take the money out before. Whereas if you have your own thing, you pay your taxes at the end of the year, which you can use that money to invest in other things before you pay it. You can put in an extension too and pay your taxes like super late if you want to. Probably for a lot of people that might not be a good thing, but if you know how to invest your money and use it to make more money, you don't want to give your money to the government before you have to. And the later you can pay it, the better, because of inflation, the money is actually worth less in the future. So technically you are paying less money if you pay it into the future, which is another good thing. Yeah, hopefully I will never have to work another normal job again. Right now I'm just quitting the rental car thing. The main thing that I want to be able to get from my work is freedom. I want the freedom to be able to live wherever I want, to travel, to be able to live the type of life I want. But it's way more important to me to have freedom than to have a lot of money or have fancy things. And me personally, I would much rather be making like $30,000 a year, or maybe even less, to be honest, because you can live in a foreign country for way cheaper. But I'd much rather make less money and have to work less, or just not have to work a normal job, than have a normal job and be making like, $150K a year or something. Give me my own thing that I can do and make way less money. I would much rather have that. Like, I've been able to have a lot of freedom by not having to work at normal jobs, and been able to have more of my own time and more freedom, and that is way more important to me. I'd rather spend my own time in my house cooking for myself and just save that extra money than having to eat out. That's another thing when people have like 9 to 5 jobs, is you kind of, you might end up spending more money on like food, getting food delivered and stuff like that, which is really, really expensive. That stuff can really add up. And then a lot of people, they don't take into account how much extra, if they're commuting, how much extra money it costs to put the miles on your car and pay for all the gas and the depreciation and stuff on your car and all that. And when you have a normal job, they don't even let you deduct your commute driving from your earnings, which I think is ridiculous. A lot of times when you take into account all the extra money you have to spend for like commuting and all that stuff, you're making way less money than people even realize. Whereas if you have your own business or your own thing, a lot of times you can work from home. And a lot of times just the environment is a lot nicer too. I mean, people back in the day, or people still, they would have wars and die to get freedom, but for me, having that freedom is worth just not having to work a normal job. I'd rather just risk everything and just struggle to try to do my own thing than to have a normal job. I don't know, it's just something that I've always kind of had to do for some reason.